Yes, sir.
Uh, Great. So I'm Hari. I'm Hari Rowtu, founder of your Futurality, and a company which is working on AI-based and then robotics-based construction. So our aim is to, let's say that, reduce the housing cost that world is seeing as a crisis. So I'm working on a couple of other side projects. As a part of that, one of my passionate project is and our data safety. Uh, can you see my screen? You want me to share my screen? Is it visible? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah. So, thanks for giving an opportunity to present here about my views on AI and digital security and personal brand safety. So, this is one of the most concerns me nowadays. What's happening, how we behave, and how we interact with the, social media or any other social media presence or social profiles, and how it is reacting and collecting us. And it became number one social threat for us right now. So here I would like to present my views on how AI is actually treating us, how it actually it is taking our data, how it is actually using our data on a day-to-day basis, how it is actually a bit raising concern about our authentication and behavior and numerical schema. So just to start with, how actually we are providing and feeding data on a day-to-day basis. So we are on an everyday basis. If you open any, on an average users are spending 2 hours to 3 hours on social media and then working on clicking photos, sharing videos, and everything. So altogether, social media has out of 8 billion, 4.7 billion of users' data, and then it takes just a couple of seconds to completely traverse all of our 4.7 billion data in a couple of seconds. And then it is actually capturing our face, and it's capturing our moments, it's capturing our geographical data, it's capturing our moments, each and everything that is happening in our day-to-day life. And then it's actually learning, taking our numerical schema, taking our moments, taking our dates, and taking our you know what is happening on a day-to-day basis. And that is actually becoming a concern, how it is actually you're giving access to your personal data. uh, so how, apart from your passwords, your personal credentials like social security or pan cards, your in future your photos and your pics and videos are about to become your security things. So post photos and posts that we do, and then uh, the kind of data we post on about our workplaces, and tagging each and everything about our moments, locations, everything is actually are captured from our numerical schema, or personally where are you storing to one collected place. Let's say that Instagram itself, and let's say recently considered as one of the uh, most, let's say, one of the most attractive place, or what is addictive place, where it is actually considering your data and tracing cases. It's actually taking your old pics. It's actually making us a front face for you today. Let's say if I faced some post 2 years ago, and it is keeping me as it is sharing across my friends, it is distributing across my friends to make more engagement. Actually, what's happening is it is taking their personal time, it is taking my personal time, and it is pushing my profile a little bit ahead without my intention or without my concern. And then right now it's consuming only their time and then my time and my focus. But in future, it is actually going to be used if I'm not keeping any privacy settings, if I'm not using any multi-factor authentications. It's going to use my time and then my focus and my personal data to push or to use against me. So how it's going to happen nowadays? We are seeing a lot of deep fakes. Like, let's say that political figures or famous politicians or celebrities or media personalities. Their pictures are used against conveying their personal brands or their intentions as their impressions. Let's say that, yeah, I can take Mr. Modi or Mr. Trump image and saying that I can say whatever the personal message I would like to say to others to grab more attention. So at this moment, this is not good actually in terms of capturing other attention. But in the downtime, probably in a couple of years, if you're not restricting that, if you're not keeping guidelines and governance in and around it, what's going to happen is we are going to capture each and every person's, let's say, personal data with respect to which is linked to facial recognition and then authentication and then videos, and they will be used against us in distributing in multiple ways. So we all know on a day-to-day basis, we are seeing how it is actually happening in user against us. So, but it is better to create, a guideline or a boundary between what can be shared, how we, what kind of data can be given as a control, what cannot be given as a control, right? So, let's say that anything that let's now itself in USA itself using any pic or any post or any social media that you post against certain guidelines or certain sensitive data that is taken as you know let's say that your personal behavior, and then they are not allowing you to enter into their country. And it's not only in USA, it's a couple of countries are planning for the same, especially in Middle East countries. So that's actually tells about how your behavior and your personal data is actually taken from yourself. Offensive posts or photos or public workplaces or engaging in any kind of protests, or everything that we tag ourselves is actually getting captured. So instead of sharing everything online, it is better to have one protector engine with multi-factor authentication, clean profiles, and then giving control to certain data only, and privacy setting about your photos and pics and what can be shared, and then in what instant it should be used. And then googling ourselves, Google owns 90% of data, and knowingly or unknowingly, but googling yourself what it's actually talking about you, what kind of data it has, and what kind of data that you feel that it should host, and then what should not be there. And then we can frequently google ourselves, reference ourselves, and then remove unnecessary data. And then let's say that couple of moments, like a couple of things that AI is going to taking care from our day-to-day basis. Let's say that as of now we are using only fingerprint, but in future photos could be one of our apart from password or email authentications or multi-factor authentications. So they can take care of our personal data like video authentication or facial authentication or pic authentication or voice authentication, right? Or some other modern authentications. Or someone might be creating a platform where your pic, your photos are the key and key password for that, or else they're capturing your entire data, and then that data can actually be used as a reference or password or lock for every other app that you can use. Like as of now we are using Google or Facebook as an authentication platforms to enter into other platforms. The same way in future, to give more protection, certain platforms are considering your pics and data, and then your passwords, your behavioral numerical schema questions like personal questions and voice. So all these are getting captured without knowing us, especially from social media, to capture your numerical data, to capture your purchasing decision, capture your let's say time bound machines or time foundations. So all these are actually need to be protected. So we are considering, like we are making an AI forum where we are protecting, let's say that it's a digital wallet for you, for your brand, or for your numerical behavior, where you can actually restrict and keep safe all of your data, pics or videos, what need to be shared, in what intent it should be used, in what intent it should not be used, and what kind of personal data should be given as an access. So that way, every time this algorithm goes and then checks in each and every social media platform, each and every website, each and every web presence, and then it checks your authenticity, it checks your how your digital brand is used. And then if it is finds anything against you or whatever you defined as a rule, it will make a request to delete that, or it will make a compliance platform to governments to act on upon it, which is used against you. And then couple of practical questions before even doing that. It is better to before on getting into that level of usage of our data, personal data, I recommend to go for setting up strong passwords, not like just commonly used of number of like, what is it that on a day-to-day basis numericals or whatever it is. It is better to set up a strong or multi-factor or multi-toned passwords. And then it is better to set up privacy settings, in what intention they should use our data, what kind of passwords, what kind of data they should collect, or in what in like in which way they should collect. And then more than anything, it is better to avoid considering that future is about to take all of our pics and videos as a next level of authentication. It is better to watermark our data and photos in every way so that they cannot use it publicly. And then it is better to Google ourselves and then check our privacy data, and then come frequently deleting that or frequently making a complaints against that if you feel that your data pics are very IP intellectual property for you. And that's where we feel that there should be a one common platform that is actually giving guarantee from your data safety or video safety or pic safety from a government point of view, wherein it is actually talking to each and every platform against your safety. And then like talking about how you define your rules, and then how they're using it, how it should be treated and deleted. And then before that, it is better to take prevention at our end itself. It is better to think, is it necessary to share before even doing just a post, or before doing sharing a pic, or before even tagging someone else. Certain people usually apart from their company positions, I see that they use social media on a day-to-day basis at least 4 to 5 times, sharing rules, reels and pics about them. And their marketing teams are not given a good guidance or guidelines, so that they are unknowingly not having a brand awareness. They're actually using the same data which is actually fed in multiple sources. So it's it should. And then in many cases we're actually creating fake content without knowing that, without authenticating that. So we have to authenticate, are we posting right content, are we authenticating right content, at the same time are we doing the right way. At the same time we have to think about taking a bit of uh, personal safety and personal authentication about our personal responsibility in terms of, is it useful, or having some bandwidth between, or having some judgment between, is it useful for me or useful for us, or others, before doing anything else. Just having that bit of authentication and personal responsibility will help a lot. And then if it is some celebrity, it is better to define, is it are they impacting by sharing their personal data or authenticating personal data with some other content. Is it helpful for us? Are they damaging their brand, or are they actually protecting their brand? Are they creating any value for that? And then when you're sharing that, is it necessary to share at every moment? And many social media platforms and many other new upcoming frameworks are actually asking a lot of more information, and then they try to capture each and every of your entity or attributes of your personal safety. And then before even defining that, it is better to understand and defining what kind of data that we would like to share, what kind of pics that we would like to give it. So these are couple of preferred personal security plans that actually we say that before even sharing your personal data or attributes or your assets, it is better to Google up. Now, as I said, Google owns majority of your data, so better to Google up yourself. Check your frequent audit settings and privacy settings. It is better to set up one password manager, which is actually having a lot of authentication with you, where you can you know take authentication or give authentication to all these password managers from your personal device. And then it is better to have one system where it is actually clearing your entire digital footprint or giving you an access to the particular moment whenever it is required and taking access back. And then it is better to have one professional platform like LinkedIn where we are allowed to share only certain data, unlike other platforms like Instagram, other platforms like Twitter or Snapchat. So where your data is public, you are actually being watched and captured, and then everything is happening. So it's better to take control of one device, one application, or one system with moment-to-moment access. That's what I feel is the cleanest way of giving via blockchain way, where you're giving an authentication to the particular system where your image goes and perform its job and come back, so that your job is done, your personal identity is safe and secure. So to sum up, to give my view on how your brand and digital safety should be taken care of is, AI is watching us, and AI and its indications are collecting on a day-to-day basis. In future, probably down the line, 2 to 3 years, instead of having 100 members team, I might be having 100 personal assistants right now, which is in trial mode, but in future, it is gonna be reality, right? So I'm assigning all my tasks, be it a shopping, be it healthcare, be it decision making on a couple of things like where to go, planning of my everything, right? Planning of my vacation, planning of my friend's party, or where I would like to spend my data. So it is watching your numerical schema, and then we are going to train all of our numerical schema on personal assistants. So when it's happening, do we have security for all of our like agentic AI data? So if we can protect right now, if we can protect our image and brand identity, so that we can use our assistants in a much more secured way. Otherwise, they'll be confused with multiple commands from multiple systems, which are actually portraying you as you know, and then trying to give command, and so that your personal will be messed up. So that's going to be the biggest mess that we will see if you're not protecting our digital identity. And then conveying a lot of social media information, or their own agendas by using deepfakes, and you know, like using a brand or using your brand identity for their own promotions without having your authentication. So to avoid all this stuff, it is better to protect and then cross check, and then audit your personal data and then image data on a frequent basis will actually help a lot. Yeah. So before we are all getting into agentic era where personal assistants are helping us, it is better to protect our data and then keep safe our password and privacy, so that we can use much more advanced AI day to day and personal life. Uh, that's it. Thank you. Thanks team for giving an opportunity. Uh, just give me a second to present my view on personal data and digital security. Thanks a lot, and nice to see you all.
Thank you so much. Your perspective